Come be a part of history and experience the sharing of wisdom from some of the most brilliant thought leaders in our community. Come see Muda Baruka, Styles P, Nori Muhammad, Lawrence Haja, Dr. Dorothy Holly, Dejaz Mach Kwasi, Deborah Hines, and Midwife Asasia impart their wisdom at Groundings with My Brothers and Sisters, a holistic health conference. A plant based breakfast and lunch are included. Looking forward to seeing you there.
All right. Peace to the family as we wait on my brother KT to arrive. Once again, I want to give a shout out to the brothers over at I Never Knew TV. I told y'all I'm helping them promote their conference for this weekend. If you're in the Philly area, they're having a holistic health conference. So the brothers reached out to me and I'm helping them promote. Let me just show y'all this flyer real quick. It's gonna be some some heavy hitters there. You know, my brother Styles P from the Locks, the rap group, the Locks. Um, you know, he recently got into his health journey. I understand he has certain juice bars and the Yonkers and stuff like that. Shout out to Nuri Muhammad's going to be there. Midwife Asasia, along with many others. So if you're in, you can hit up their website. I'm gonna have the link in the description after this video. And if you're in the Philly area, definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring the man of the hour on the show, ladies and gentlemen, none other than the one, the only KT, the Arch Degree. Welcome, my brother.
Yo, what's
Yeah, man.
going on, bro?
Hey, man. Good to have you on here, brother. Good to have you on here. You want to do one of your very famous Hollywood Decoded breakdowns. You've been doing this for quite some time, my brother. You know all over the world for these being prophetic. So yeah, what's going on?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on here, man. Last time I was on here to do a decoded, boy, it was kind of rough that night.
Oh, you had a cold. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, you got
yeah,
yeah.
man. My daughter was just getting over something and she was rocking with me for a few days, and I thought I was like impervious. I took
Man.
her back to her mama, and boy, it wasn't nice. So you caught me like on the tail end when I thought I was straight. I was like, oh yeah, I'm good now. I'm good. I did everything I need to do.
Yeah.
But bro, I got past that 20-minute mark. My body was like, what you doing?
Damn. Damn, brother. Wow.
you
Wow.
know. But yeah, man, a lot of people don't even know about this film. I know you didn't know about it.
You
You know what
told
I'm
me.
saying?
Told me, yeah.
Yeah, it was the promotion on it was kind of light. You know what I'm saying? Zoe Kravitz directed this.
Dope.
You know what I'm
Dope.
saying? So Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet's daughter, she directed it. Channing Tatum starred in it. They had a pretty good cast. And the movie that we're talking about tonight is Blink Twice. Now, when people hear that term, that saying, that idiom is usually, blink, don't blink, you know what I mean? Don't blink twice, you'll miss it. And if you notice everything that's going on in our society, it's like you got to really keep your head on a swivel because it'll shoot right past you and you'll be got.
Right.
So this movie is on so many levels. All
Mm.
right, on its most basic level, of course, is Diddy, it's Epstein Island, it's the parties, it's the white parties, it's all that stuff going on, is Me Too movement.
Yeah.
But on a much deeper level, I see it like what we would call the Great Reset, because the main theme of this movie was, um why do you need to forgive somebody for something if you can forget it?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
What point is forgiveness if you could forget? So if we think about our circumstance inside this country, where we constantly deal with the onslaught that we deal with as a people, we're constantly trying to get some type of empathy of people to recognize the pain that we are going through our ancestors have gone through. And it seems like nobody can really understand it, and they really showed that in this film, especially in the climax at the end, when he constantly said I'm sorry, like 20, 30 times in a row, mad intense. but it was hollow. It was like nothing behind it. It was a performance, you know? So you think about cancel culture, you think about when you hear about all this crazy stuff that goes on in our society, and then, you know, a little apology post goes up or something like that, and it's like people are hurt, people are in pain, but then after a certain amount of time, you know, they're able to come back and do what they do because what? We forget. So if you go to something as deep as the world that we live in now, you walk around in any metropolitan city in this country, you go to any metropolitan city throughout the world, you're going to find architecture and buildings that don't make no sense. You'll look at the year at which these buildings was constructed. They'll say founded. They'll never say built. They'll say established. They'll say founded. And it'll say something like 1800 something. And then you look at the pictures around that time, and people are in horse and buggy. Folks is in these simple little black suits. There's mud everywhere. There's no street. There's no pay. You telling me you got this castle column, intricate design structure made of stone that takes architecture that's on a whole nother level, but you don't even have an environment or a foundation to go around that, which means the people that you see in these images and these pictures are not the same people that actually built these structures. And the more you dig and the more you research, the more you find out that there was a reset, and that just like now, we can't remember.
Oh,
I mean, one of the reasons for your channel, Rich, is you invite a multitude of people on your show that have various forms of information to give to people, so we can kind of piece together things, you know, and put things together so we can see a big picture. But there's so many holes still missing. We could look at the ancestry of Asia. We could look at the ancestry of Europe. We could look at the ancestry of Africa. We could look at the ancestry everywhere else. But when you come to America, it's slavery, it's Indians, and then it's like woolly mammoths. Yet you got castles, buildings. You go out to the Southwest, you go out to Utah in them deserts, and you look at those structures and you think those are rocks when they're like melted temples. You go out to the Grand Canyon and there are Kemetic structures throughout the whole Grand Canyon.
Facts.
Melted over, crystallized.
Facts.
So we have forgotten who we are, you know?
Yes.
We're not all African. Africans are cousins, our brother, they are family, but a lot of us are American. We are from this side of the globe, and we've been here, and there's a rich, strong, powerful, intelligent, talented, scientific, metaphysical, magical history that is established right beneath our feet. And we know that because every time we turn around, there's some type of cataclysm, trauma, instance that takes place to try and make a second guess us being here.
Right. Excellent.
So when you look at this film, that's exactly what's happening. So let's spoiler warning. Oh yeah, before I start this, I'm breaking this film down from an artistic standpoint. So let me speak to anybody, man or woman, who have ever suffered from any type of sexual abuse of any kind. I don't want you to think just because of the lightheartedness of me breaking this down that I don't have any compassion towards you or what you've been through, but please understand that I am here to just break this film down. It is nothing personal, and I definitely respect where you are as an individual. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there before I jump in this, because this is touchy subject. All right. They had a whole, when you watched it, did you see the warning before the movies? The trigger warning?
Yeah, trigger warning. Yeah.
When the last time you seen the trigger warning in a film?
Yeah. I don't think.
And we watch rated R movies, people getting sliced up, cut, shot, slavery movies. Where you see that at?
Yeah.
Right. So, you know. All right. So let me bring these slides up. I got a couple slides.
Okay.
I got a couple slides.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Definitely, if you didn't see the movie, definitely make sure you go check it out.
Oh yeah, for
what
sure.
KT said is okay. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, and I also want to say before I get started, you know, when I come on your show, Rich, I always give the audience a break. So we got 50% off again for tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably let it rock 24 to 48 hours, 1 or 2 days, because I know it's going to go up. I'm going to give people some time to watch this. It's no code necessary. Y'all could just go straight to the site. Everything's sliced right in half, so y'all could stock up on some things. Matter of fact, Rich just got some more honey, so I know he's good on that tip.
I'm stocked up on honey.
Yeah, you got some purple sea moss.
Got the purple sea moss.
And we got a gang of herbs. You know, the last 2 shows I did, we've gone through some of those herbs, so y'all can go back and check out what I got. All right, but yeah, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, boom. All right, Echoes of the Great Reset, you know? So this was a very, very like I wanted to see the movie, and even though I knew what it was about, I had no idea the journey I was about to go on watching this film. They did such an exceptional job with symbolism, subtlety, building it up, and just where it all went, you know. And it was a shame because I really didn't have too many people to talk to the movie about, because a lot of, like I said, most people didn't even know it came out. You know what I'm saying? And even though it's available now, even digitally for you to watch at home, people don't even know about the movie like that, you know? All right, so Blink Twice, Echoes of the Great Reset. All right. And this movie is about everyone, but of course is really centered around the Black woman. All right, because you know, as we sit here on the precipice, shout out and love, protection, energy goes out to Florida right now, because they're about to embark on the, you know, Hurricane Milton. And you know, we don't know, you know, what that's about to do to that state and the ramifications that's going to carry on, you know, throughout this country based on what happens there. So my heart goes out to everyone out there. But that hurricane, you know, when you talk about Mother Earth, you know, there's definitely a purging and an upsetness that's going on right now based on all of this imbalance that's taking place. Now, we just got done with Helen, you know, and now we're dealing with Milton, and there's another one that's coming right after that. And all 3 of these hurricanes, do you know where they originate in, Rich?
Where?
The Yucatan Peninsula. Mexico, bro, coming straight from the Yucatan, Merida, Cancun. That's where these hurricanes are coming from. And we know Tehuti we know all the history there, Quetzalcoatl and everything. But what's interesting is, even though this movie was made to seem like it was on an island, it was actually filmed in the Yucatan.
Interesting.
That's where this movie was filmed at. Now, the actress who plays this role, Naomi Aki, okay, we all know what Aki is for those from the islands, but she's a Scorpio, November 2nd to be exact, you know, and we know who's dealing with something right now that's on November 4th. That's like the day after tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? To her, the day after tomorrow is the man in question. Now, she plays a character named Frida, and Frida means peace, right? It's also kind of related to Friday. And when you think of Friday as Venus, as pleasure, that's what she's seeking. Now, for those that don't know, she was the star of I Want to Dance with Somebody, which was the biopic of Whitney Houston. And we all know Whitney Houston was in that life. We all know how she went out and how she was affiliated with Clive Davis, and how Clive Davis is all associated with everything going on right now too. So I found it very interesting that she's the lead character. All right. Now, when we first see, when the movie first start, it's like this bass tone is real disturbing, right, Rich? Do you remember when it first started, that kind of bass that was coming in, and then they showed this lizard?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they hitting you immediately with reptilian brain. We come to find out later in the film that this was actually a memory from her trying to escape the island. And right before she passed out from knocking her head and getting that scar, this lizard was on the rock. But this is representing reptilian brain. And the reptilian brain, the primal brain, is the oldest part of the brain. It controls basic survival functions. Remember, she was in survival mode, trying to get up out of there. The reptilian brain is made up of the brain stem, includes the cerebellum, medulla pons, midbrain, globus pallidus, olfactory bulbs. Is responsible for instinctual behaviors, aggression, dominance, and territoriality. This is being territorial. The reptilian brain is reliable, but tends to be rigid and compulsive. And listen to this, and it doesn't learn well from experience.
Mm.
Now, I know one of the questions you had, Rich, was, hold up. If you made it off, first of all, how you make it off the island, right? Secondly, what you doing back if that's what you dealt with? You bit homeboy finger off and cracked your whole temple, and she has a scar on her temple because that's her temple. The whole movie is about a woman's temple being defiled, scarred. All right. Now, first time we see her after the lizard, she's sitting on a. Now, I want to know, before I even move forward, I want to know in the chat how many of y'all sitting on the toilet scrolling on your phones? Well, and not right now, obviously, at this moment, but I mean, on average throughout the week, who taking their phone to the toilet bowl and you scrolling on social media?
Man,
I want to know how many. Look at that all the time. So she's sitting on the toilet bowl, scrolling, right? And she's scrolling, looking this guy Slater King up. This is that Stockholm syndrome. This is that wanting to fit in. This is that I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm going to be beautiful. I'm going to be accepted once I align myself with this type of individual, which is not just a successful man, but who society deems as successful. She don't know nothing about this man, none personal about him at all, but for some reason feels to need to involve herself in it, which is essentially, kind of a very disturbing because of what she already experienced along with it. Her boss already tried to give her a heads up and was like, yo, you was already messing with old boy last time he was here. Like, I need you to be professional this time. And us as the audience not even knowing that he's so on point that she actually been on the island with this dude before. Now, she got a friend that works with her, Jess. Jess is an actual person, but Jess is also an aspect of her mind, or would you would say certain people's mind. This is that kind of insecure, I'm not good enough energy. So she explains to Frida, Jess explains to Frida how she dealing with this dude abusing him, but I can't seem to leave him. And then she say to her, you know what I mean? That's like, don't be his phone charger. Stop giving him power. And that's what we do in society. We constantly feed this machine. We get on here and we talk about how tired we are of this, how things need to change. I can't believe this has happened. Break all this stuff down. But we constantly are giving our energy, giving our power to it so it can thrive. It cannot thrive without our attention, which is essentially the currency of our modern era. Hence why it starts off with her on the toilet bowl looking through social media. You know, now if you notice, they got a red and blue dress on.
Right.
Okay, so they color plays a huge role in this movie, and you got to really pay attention to all the colors, you know. And it starts off with that kind of reddish orange with that lizard because its root chakra is base, is primal, you know. But it's love trying to bust through in terms of her memory, trying to warn her, trying to let her know, look, danger. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. Don't subject yourself to these things. And the black woman is a symbol of society. It's a symbol of you. It's a symbol of me. It's a symbol of Rich. They even had you in the movie, Rich. They took your name. Did you notice that?
Nah, what you talking
You
about?
didn't notice that dude named Rich?
Oh, yeah, the white dude. Yeah.
The therapist, one of the worst cats. I was like, yo, they gonna do my boy Rich like that, son.
Oh man.
You know, so the red and blue colors is the red is representing danger. Of course, we're gonna keep seeing red throughout this film. The red dress, when they was at the gala, all the tables was red, the building on the island was red, the bags was red, the flower was red, you know. And then yellow represents memory and waking up. Blue is kind of a transitional color, you know what I'm saying? So it's real interesting how Jess, her friend, played this kind of when they were off the island and kind of in the regular world, she was kind of this insecure, low vibrational energy that lacked self-esteem and was filled with insecurities. But on the island, she actually was the skeptical one that was kind of privy to things going on. She was the first one that woke up, you know. But let's push forward. When she gets to the island, the Mexican lady who we're gonna get to soon kept calling her Red Rabbit. And the scene was mad weird because she was just looking at her. And you know, later when you find out what the Red Rabbit was, it made sense. It was almost like she was like, yo, you're back.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? And Red Rabbit was you know, her nails had red rabbits on it, so that's why it was called. But you know, when we talk about these parties and these instances, you know, when you're dealing with human trafficking and everything, you have the adrenochrome, which I know most of the people that are watching right now, they're familiar with that term, but it's also called the white rabbit. And if you look at this image that I got, they call it that because the molecule essentially looks like a rabbit's head with its ears. And it's produced by adrenaline, which is produced in large masses when you're in fight or flight and you're scared or you're fearful, which connects back to that reptilian brain. Now she's the red rabbit because it's talking about blood and it's talking about danger and it's talking about sexual assault, you know. And if you notice in this scene on the left, when she's finally like coming into the realization of everything going on, when she's in Slater King's office, there's a picture on the wall that got rabbits on it too, right over a sculpture of a phallus, but a black phallus. So he has, remember when, you know, when you talk about we were prisoners of war back in the day, which we, you know, we deemed slaves. One of the things that was being done to a lot of the males is they were being castrated. So they literally have a black phallus on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So yeah, let me keep pushing forward.
You already peeped out some things I ain't even peeped, man. You cold with this shit, KT.
Let me tell you, man. There's listen, you got to see it again. Now, as white, when they got to the island, they get the white clothes, right? The women get the white clothes, and what's deep is you got to look at the gowns. The gowns are white and flowing, very innocent looking at first glance. But they have these big bows and these large streams. Why? because when the guys get them later on in the evening, these same clothing that seems so innocent and so pure can be used to tie them up and strap them down. They actually become a trap in itself. The innocence becomes a trap because they're trying to make these women think like, oh, we're not even thinking about that. We just having a good time. We just having fun, just like how it is in society when we hear about new pharmaceuticals coming out, or we get a newsreel of, oh, they introducing that. They always make, oh, this is for the children. This is for the people. You know, we only thinking about your health and the betterment of society in mind. But all in all, there's always a hidden agenda underlying it in order to really strap us down and do what they want to us once they got us in a compromising position. Now, they also was wearing all white and the same hats and everything like that so they could get rid of their identity, because it's like we're just numbers. Or with women are not anything special. Women don't have any qualities. Women aren't intelligent. They can't do this. They can't do that. They just girls. They just chicks. Hence why they had the chickens in there, which I'm going to get to shortly, you know, but we are just a digit. When they do these projections for 10, 20, 30 years and they have agendas in order to do certain things to us in society, we're not our identity. We're not the people that are here to fulfill our purpose. We're not the name that our parents gave us. We are a digit. We are a number. All right. And this is why they try so hard to try and control fashion and things like that. So everybody's dressing the same and everybody's wearing their hair the same and everybody's talking the same. So the minute that anything original or different comes about, then you get chastised for it and criticized for it, you know? So they would get up and they would notice they had dirt under their nails because they could not remember that in the evening they were trying to escape, and they would literally be clawing in the dirt as they was getting dragged back in to this what they call it, bacchanalia is the term, when they be having these big orgies or whatever, but not consentful. You know what I'm saying? And they would have the dirt under their nails. They would not understand why they would wake up and have dirt under their nails, or why Frida spilt I believe the wine or whatever on her dress, and then later on in the day the stain was gone. Like it just magically disappeared. Right? And the meaning of this is the fact that, you know, as we seek, and it's mainly women that really seek this soft life, you know what I'm saying, trying to align themselves in certain environments and with certain people based on the capitalistic structure that exists. There's a piece of themselves that they have to sacrifice. And when I say piece, I'm not talking a crumb. I'm talking about like a huge percentage of who you are in order to give the appearance through social media or society that you're thriving or that you're coming up, you know. And you hear some of these tales with Dubai with the porta potty.
Oh man, yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah, the
You
girls
know
getting
about that,
shitted.
right, Rich?
Girls getting shitted on.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something strange for change.
Right. So as clean as that, you go to Dubai. I ain't been there, but I see the pictures, man. That thing looks spectacular, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as clean as everything seemed, them dresses and the hotel, the resort, and the land they was on, the pool and everything like that, it still was very filthy. And that's what the dirt under the nails represent. Like it don't matter how clean you look, it's still filthy, it's still dirt. And if you really pay attention to the movie, as beautiful as they did their best to make that resort look, there still was something grainy and dark about it. Remember, they was like walking and they saw the people that was working there. They had the machetes and he was like smiling at them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was always something off.
Mm-hmm.
And even when Frida was laying down with Slater King, she was like, something horrible's about to happen. Some horrible. That's that woman intuition. Some horrible about that. He was like, what you talk about? How long I been here? When do I leave? Whenever you want. How long I been here? Like, why you worrying about that? We don't even know how long she was there, Rich.
They kept asking what day of the week it is. Nobody knew.
What?
Nobody knew.
And guess what? Where are we at in society right now? Today is what? October 9th, Rich, 2024. How did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? When was July 4th? When was Memorial Day? When was the first? Is time not just floating by? Do you ever be like, yo, oh man, it's Thursday already?
All the time, man.
Come on. How do we know the time that we all agree upon is the time we're actually experiencing? Because it don't feel like that. It's just an agreement that we all participate in, you know? So, Jess's yellow lighter. All right. Dissociative amnesia. This is when situations get so bad that you actually disassociate yourself from the situation and erase it from your memory like it never happened because it's that traumatic to you. And I know there's a lot of people listening right now who have or know someone who has experienced this. I say we have all experienced this because none of us know where we came from. We know we came from our mama and our daddy, but we don't know our heritage and our family tree like that. We don't know what was going on in 1816 with Tecumseh's comet and the St. Madrid earthquake when the Mississippi River got hit so hard it flipped it another direction. At the same time, we had the year with no summer that actually lasted for years, where it was freezing cold. Look, I got a spider, y'all. Look at that. Y'all probably can't see it, but I can. Oh, he came on down. That's Adansi coming down. You know? So Jess's lighter is symbolic of memory in the beginning. She always knew where her lighter was. And remember, it's yellow and it got a smiley face. So it represents like happiness. You know what I mean? Joy. You know, yellow is solar plexus. It represents will and courage. You know, it's the strongest color for advertisement. That's what everybody uses to advertise, you know, but it's this bright golden color of the sun, right? So when they first get the island, she's in possession of it. She always knows where it is. Then she starts losing track of her lighter, and all of a sudden, one of the other girls there, they'll just whip the lighter out and start using it. And she'll be like, yo, what you doing with my lighter? And they'll literally be acting like, oh, this is your lighter? I didn't even know this was your lighter. And it got her name on it, literally written on the back, to the point when she ended up missing, they still whip the lighter out and Frida like, yo, where's my friend at? Where's Jess? And they look at her like, who's Jess? You know? And all of this is happening because of this flower. You know what I mean? And this flower, which was actually based on a hibiscus that was growing indigenously in Mexico, they couldn't use that flower because the flower is so like sacred to that area. It's yellow in the morning and it turns red as the day goes on. Right? It changes color, which is deep because it's yellow with the memory. And when you forget, it represents red symbolically in the movie, and the flower literally does that in real life. So they replaced it with a lily, which you see her and when you see in the movie, but it's actually based on a hibiscus flower, which is a very spiritually strong flower that you know a lot of our ancestors use. We still use today. Most women use it and is directly connected to fertility, childbirth, you know what I mean, postpartum and everything, you know. So the flower essentially erases memory, and Slater King, which is Channing Tatum's character, got wind of that. Because he was a billionaire, he decided to purchase the island, right? So he could now manufacture this substance from this flower and synthesize it, and he ended up making a perfume from it. So when they come to the island, they're given the flower, they're given clothes. The clothes are sprayed with the perfume. They're putting it in the food. So once again, reflecting what we're dealing with in society, how we have all of these hidden ingredients, additives that are not only in our foods, but that are in the clothes, that are in the Glad air fresheners. You know what I'm saying? The car fresheners, like everywhere we go, we have certain things that are constantly being placed in our body that's what? Disrupting our memory. So we cannot remember things. This is why Alzheimer's is at an all-time high, So this whole movie is about forgetting, because people can constantly cause you pain, hurt you, hurt your family, and you'll never do anything because you'll forget that about the pain. Right? Isn't that why y'all pop pills? Isn't that why you do perks? Isn't that why you take medication? Is not to recognize what the actual chronic condition is in your body, but you want to forget that the chronic condition is occurring at all and take some type of substance that makes your body forget it.
KT going in, y'all. I like this, yo. I like this. I ain't gonna lie. I like this a lot.
Little by little, we walking the walk. So after they buttered them up, they gave them the clothes and whipped out the weed and gave them the food, and everybody's happy. They playing the music. Slater King whips out a bottle, and he says it's it's liquid MDMA and some type of mushroom blended together, and it's blue. Now, one of the things that came up with the situation going on with Diddy right now is that there's this new drug that's getting pushed all around by way of the private jets and within the industry, which is a liquid cocaine and a liquid MDMA. And I found it real interesting that was the drug of choice in the movie that they gave to the women so that the women can pretty much let all their inhibitions go so they can get taken advantage of. This is similar to the social media, the pleasure that is advertised and sold and provided to everybody so that they can kind of let go of their issues and their problems, and it's escapism. They'd be like, listen, you want to escape? I know everything's stressful right now. Why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? And while you're in that state of mind of escapism, while you're not focused on yourself or your family or your spirit and everything like that, they're able to constantly move forward with whatever agenda they're doing, usurping your mind, your flesh, your blood, your spirit, your dreams, your energy, your frequency, your estate. Because let's not forget about the whole straw man connection and status and everything like that. All of that being taken from you as you twerk, as you get bottle service, as you play video games, okay, as you do all of these things to kind of, as you binge, you know what I'm saying, on Netflix, you know what I mean? And the time keeps passing by and you're sitting there on the couch and you ran through 8 different series, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, you did 8, 9 seasons, 15 episodes a piece, nonstop, and you like, yo, what day is it? You know what I'm saying? So these women, they kept showing the chickens kept escaping, and the guy who cooks, they kept grabbing the chickens. You know what I'm saying? And we know that chickens are associated with our ancestors because in our magic, when we're trying to create certain circumstances, the chickens get sacrificed, right? So it's real interesting that in that scene when he whips the MDMA out and she says, "I trust you," she sticks her tongue out and he says, "Yo, get ready to meet your ancestors." Like, whoa. Wait, what? Now, what he meant by that was the fact that our ancestors was raped, taken advantage of, sexually assaulted, murdered, stomped on, forgotten. And he pretty much telling them, "Oh, shoot, you about to take this drug. Guess what? You about to be with them now. We about to keep this train going." So the chickens is escaping and they grabbing them and everything like that. And you kept seeing chickens and stuff like that because the chickens represented the woman, because hens are women. They're in the chicken coop. They're constantly laying eggs. That's pretty much the role of a hen, is not really to have a life of its own, but to stay in the chicken coop and just keep dropping eggs out so people can eat the eggs that they drop in and have sustenance. And every time they run out, they put them right back in there. Just like every time women would start waking up, you know what I mean? Or catch wind of what was going on, they would drag them right back in. So they were symbolic of the women there, because we know women, people refer to women as chicks. That was a term used. And then also chicken heads have been used before. And chickens are not really seen as intelligent animals, even though they're very intelligent animals. You know what I'm saying? We held them in high regard throughout history, roosters and things like that. And they are connected to the sun. Their pineal is ridiculous. That's why the rooster knows the sun is coming before anybody else, but that's a whole nother story. But they're seen as sacrificial on a high level, but then expendable on a low level. And that's how the females are seen. They're seen as expendable. They're like, "Oh man, this one woke up and we got to kill her. We're just going to drag another one down here." And to think of what happens at all these parties that go on all the time, when you hear people died and people missing, or you see them and they're just not quite right in the head anymore. You don't know what these people have gone through, So the perfume that got distilled from the flour that they're using to wipe everybody's memory is called Desideria. And it's a feminine name that means desired or longing. It comes from the Latin word desideratus, and it also is used in Italian and Spanish. The word desiderium is derived from the Latin word desidere, which means to desire. It can mean an ardent desire or longing, especially a feeling of loss or grief or something lost, such as your memory, such as who you are, right? Or a desire or longing which is created in society in itself. So I'm gonna do another Decoded. This one's gonna be on my Patreon though, and I know you're gonna be like, "Wow, you're gonna save the cartoon for Patreon," but I got to, because it was just that deep. And you got to see this with Sirius Rich. Transformers 1.
Okay.
All right. And in that movie, they got this situation where Transformers have cogs, and cogs is which enables a transformer to transform. But the society of Transformers are cogless. They don't got no cogs. So that creates a longing or a void or a hole, which a lot of people have. Most people have, because we're all searching for something. So when you're able to create a circumstance where you bring someone's awareness to you're missing or lacking something, and oh, guess what? I can fulfill that longing and that desire. then you have someone that has an appetite for whatever you have. Right. And that's exactly what this perfume was. It was like, I'm going to wipe your memory. And if you don't know nothing and it's a clean slate, then whatever I show you, whatever I teach you, that's what it's going to be. You know, and peep how they in the red bags, you know. Now, did you peep who that was, Rich?
No.
That's Haley Joel Osment, bro.
Mm.
You know who that is?
No, I don't. I'm waiting for you to say it.
That's the kid from The Sixth Sense.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the kid from AI.
Okay.
Right? So we talking AI or Sixth Sense. So we're in a time right now in society where we got artificial intelligence, right? Even though this intelligence is based on us, on humans, on we're the ones that's feeding it and creating the technology, right? But we can depend on that, or we can depend on the intuitive nature that is within us, which is that sixth sense. You know, the clairaudience, the clairvoyance, the telepathy, the telekinesis, all of these higher vibrational abilities that we all have the potential of having, which we constantly see in the movie. You know what I'm saying? The women are I'm going to talk about it when I get to Sarah, which was the Puerto Rican character in the movie. You know, so it's AI or Sixth Sense, and he was the one that was dealt with when they woke up, when them women woke up. He was the one that got it the worst. You know what I'm saying? So we're like at a we're at a fork in the road or a crossroads between those two. I just found it interesting that they ended up putting this character in there. For what reason did they need Haley Joel Osment, this character that's only really known for two things, and that is Sixth Sense and AI. And AI came out in what, 2001 or something like that. 2000, it was early 2000s, before any of this going on right now. You know, so which one are you going to deal with? Are you going to spend time and constantly work on AI and everything like that and depend on it? I understand you using it for business, make your bread, whatever like that, you know, and ignore the development of the sixth sense abilities that are inherent in you, which you have forgotten, right? Or are you going to try and get your snake venom, you know what I'm saying? So you can restore that memory of those ancient practices so that you can develop yourself at a greater rate than AI is increasing.
Just had a show yesterday with A.A. Rashid called Ghetto Telepathy, man.
There you go. Big shout out to my man AA.
Yeah.
That's what's up. How was the show? I don't gotta ask you that. I know it was fire.
Yeah, he did a great job. He actually wrote a small book on
Oh,
it.
okay.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get me a copy, and definitely gonna can't wait to read it.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I'm gonna I gotta check that out. Let me
Yeah.
pull her up here. All right, so Sarah means princess. So we got peace and we got princess. And Sarah, who's the Puerto Rican, right? The Bariquan. She been training. This is what I meant about the AI versus Sixth Sense, right? And the fact of the intuition. When we first get introduced to her character, we find out she been on some 8 seasons or something like that, or some Survivor program. She been training like forever to be on this next season, and they like canceled it, right? Because she's coming down the tree, bro. She coming down from the coconut tree. She chopped. Yo, have you ever cut a coconut, Rich, for coconut water?
Yeah, shit hard like a mother.
Did you notice she did that with one chop?
Yeah.
Right. So it's letting us know of the fact that she's prepared for something. She didn't even know she was preparing herself for this situation she was in.
Yeah.
Because she was straight warrior mode, bro.
Yeah.
When the sister told her what it was, she only fought her foot. Usually when you see movies like this and someone's trying to wake another person up, it takes forever. And she was like, yo, I'm having a great time, but for some reason it feel horrible about it. I feel horrible about it. It's something wrong. It's something off. And it didn't take her no time to wake up after that.
Yeah.
You know, and when they woke up, they went from wearing all white to different colors. Jess was the first one that woke up, so she had yellow on because yellow represented the memory. The Polaroid camera was yellow, her lighter was yellow, that was yellow. The flowers turned from yellow to red. You know, during the course of the day, it's yellow during the day, but it's red at night. You know, but yeah, she was subconscious, and then remember, she kept telling the dude, stop calling me babe, and kept hitting him, like not intentionally, but kept hitting him for some reason. And then near the end, just straight busted him in the nose, tore his whole thing up. And that was that sixth sense.
Mm-hmm.
That was that gut feeling, because he was abusing her. And even though the flower was causing her to forget, there was still a higher energy involved. And that's really what everybody need to understand tonight, is as deep as it goes, and as much as you have forgotten, and as much as you may think you have been compromised, like, you got to understand that there's nowhere that the creator is not. He's everywhere. You are never disconnected, which was a term used by Slater King in the movie when he was getting interviewed at the beginning. It feels good to disconnect. And we thinking like, oh yeah, go to an island and meditate. No, he talking about from humanity. Right? So yeah, let's get back to it. Now, Black and Boricua. Cooperation versus competition. One of the other things we noticed when Sarah first came into the thing is that her and Frida were competing for the king.
Right.
Remember, his last name was King.
Right.
Right? And her name's Princess, so she feels she's entitled. She's all warrior trained, ready for everything, and then this other girl just come, just soireeing up in there, and they're vying for his attention. And the black woman and the Boricuan, which those are sisters. The black population and Hispanic population are supposed to work together and not compete with one another or see a difference between each other. You see? And once they decided to work together, everybody woke up. I'm going to say that again. The minute that they put their differences aside and stopped competing with each other, the spell was broken.
Mm. Mm.
Right? So they want you to stay inebriated. As long as the black woman and the Badiquin is inebriated, drunk, high, under the influence, no problems. Distracted, that's exactly what we need. But the minute that they woke up, you saw they had blood everywhere. They had that blood everywhere.
They was getting busy at the end. I mean, they was getting busy, man.
Oh, they was getting, but I mean, wouldn't you?
Man, for real.
Wouldn't you? Imagine waking up one day and your memory is restored. Rich, and you come to realize everything that's been done to you and your family and your land and your aunt, like what? And you have the capability in that moment to react to it. Yeah, you ain't about to sit down and plot too much. All right.
Oh, here we go.
Man.
Uh-oh.
So
KT been talking about this a long time on my channel. A long time. I'm talking about years. I might have been like 2019 but he just keeps talking about it. And I'm like, why is this dude always talking about snake venom? So I want to see this part. I want to see this part.
So what color is the snake, Rich?
Yellow.
There we go. There go the yellow color again, right? And what does the snake have? What does the snake provide in the movie?
The venom.
And what does the venom do?
Oh, that's what helps them remember.
So didn't I say the yellow lighter?
Yeah.
Right. She had yellow on when she started remembering. The Polaroid camera, which captures memories, right? Everything that represents memory is yellow. So, and this I connect to Oshun, because Oshun represents pleasure and music and love, right? Gold and honey and sweetness, right?
Right.
Pretty much everything that these women were fooled into experiencing on the island.
Right.
So just in essence, as they were fooled into it, that would be the same energy to pull them out of it. She's going to protect them, right? Because that's what Oshun does. Oshun's going to protect her children, right? So animal venom is big business. You understand? Ozempic is Gila monster venom, which comes from the Southwest United States. All of the ACE inhibitors are actual snake venom. The situation we dealt with 4 years ago, that everybody was compromised in order to get that Vaseline, that's what was in there. Because when they did a study on thousands of people that had gotten that Vaseline, they noticed a large concentration of different snake venoms in their bloodstream. And folks ain't just walking around eating snake meat. You know what I'm saying? They're getting bit like that. And when you look at the caduceus, when you look at the medical symbol, you see the two snakes. And that's because there are two snakes that are involved. Now, on a metaphysical standpoint, Ida, Pingala, and Sasumna, right? Which are the positive, negative energies that, come up the axis for the Kundalini to rise, right? But from a medical standpoint, it's talking about the dual nature of what snake venom offers. And that is, there's a positive side where we have been using since antiquity for a lot of different issues and problems. Snake venom is a very potent and strong medicine. Bee venom is too, and other animal venoms. But then it can also be used to poison the body as well and break the system down. And there's an episode, I think it's episode either 14 or 15. It's called The Alchemist. No, the Apothecary, with the series the Blacklist. That series Blacklist. I think it's season 4. I think it's like episode 15. But you could just type in the Blacklist and type in the Apothecary, and they show you how folks can get poisoned with venoms, and it can replicate infections, outbreaks, and things of the sort. So lots of times when we're dealing with large groups and quantities and populations of people that are getting sick at one time, and they say, oh yeah, it's this little boogeyman particle thing. No, usually you're getting intensely poisoned, and it's coming in by way of water and other things into your system, and your body is reacting to these peptides, these proteins that come from the snake. So here, we're actually seeing the beneficial use of snake venom, where that's how nature is. If you have a plant that causes a rash, usually within 10 feet, 10 square feet of that area, there's a plant that will remove that rash. That's how nature works. So you have these flowers that are growing on this island that are able to erase your memory. But then you have snakes that have a venom that when they bite you and the venom gets in your bloodstream, it restores it back. So they have these indigenous people on the property there to capture the snakes. They're saying they're just trying to protect them, but they're trying to keep them from actually, restoring their memory. So I urge all of y'all to do the research and just check out the history of a lot of these drugs that are out here on the market. Matter of fact, look up main pharmaceutical companies and then type in snake venom or type in animal venoms or animal toxins, and you'll find out how many of these companies are invested in that industry, and they're spending all their money studying that. It'll blow your mind. Now, her name is Maria, which I found interesting that they're in Mexico and her name's Maria, and she's there to actually provide some type of substance that is able to open the mind of these women, which is very similar to another Maria. Her name was Maria Sabina. That's who introduced the psilocybin mushrooms to the world. And she had a whole, order, which the Ben Gesserit from the movie Dune is based on her and the group of women that she had, her sisterhood, And in this scene, this is Maria actually taking shots of the snake venom straight. She was hitting the bottle because she wants to make sure she remembers everything. And she's telling Frida, don't tell nobody that this is what I'm doing. Matter of fact, why don't you hit this too? And she don't even know that's what it is. And what's deep is, if you notice when she first gets to the island, Rich, and she looks in the medicine cabinet, there's actually a bottle of it in there, and it says mouthwash. So she probably had that in there from the last time, and that's how she woke up, and it was still there. So the yellow Polaroid, that represents everything's recorded. So when you're dealing with these situations, when these parties are going on, and Epstein Island or whatever like that, what's deep is they record everything, So Christian Slater, who's missing a pinky because she done bit that thing off, is going around taking pictures of everything. And this is just showing that, once again, no matter what's going on, if somebody's wiping your memory, they cannot wipe who you are away. There's always going to be some residual. There's always going to be some residue left behind, because all it took was for her to knock that little frame over, and all the Polaroids fell out, and she saw the picture, and everything started coming back, and another thing with this whole snake situation is, you got to think about Adam and Eve, and the fact that they always talk about, the whole apple thing. Now, I speak about it a little different. And what I say is, I say that, Adam and Eve is in paradise. This is all, we talking about a metaphysical situation right now. So Adam and Eve is in paradise, and paradise meaning, with God. So the snake, representing wisdom, is telling Eve, they say tempting, but tempt is coming from tempo and time, and offering time to Eve. Like, okay, you want to have sex, bear children, you want flesh, that requires mortality, and mortality is time. And the apple has been used symbolically because an apple has a toroidal shape. And the woman's energy is the torus, and the man's energy is the hyperboloid, or the core of the apple, the hourglass. We got the hourglass male centripetal energy. We have the toroidal centrifugal male female energy. And in this situation, we're looking at the same thing with the snake offering memory back, offering a widening of the mind, kind of bringing her back into herself, you know? Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier. You know, she's fully covered in the yellow garb. She's the first one that gets bit. Everybody thinks she's crazy. She already kind of had a vibe, but now the vibe is kind of settling in more and more to her. And she's like, she gotta go. And unfortunately, you know, she got unalived because, you know, she every time the nose bleeds, you know what I mean? That means that the memory done came back and she had remembered everything that happened to her and her friends. And, you know, they ended up taking care of her. Getting rid of her. Now, I call him Lucas Bieber because he represents that energy, especially with Bieber's name being all over the place right now. He's one of those ones that have been a victim, but is also part of the issue too, because they're too weak or too abused to speak up and do anything about it. They're kind of paralyzed. Hence why he had the black eye. Like he's beat into being an abuser as well, you know, and representing effeminate and compromised males who participate because they feel there's nothing they can do, and not doing anything is extremely dangerous. There was a whole scene where at the end of the movie, when Slater was talking to him and he was like, what you gonna do? He was like, that's the thing, you ain't gonna do nothing. And that's that you're soft, you're terrible. Like that's worse. You worse than me, you know? And this is the situation that a lot of these boys are in, you know, when you're dealing with the Catholic Church, you know, when you're dealing with the trafficking going on, when you're dealing with it in a lot of these situations, because women are not the only ones being abused. A lot of young boys are being abused too. And then they grow up being abused all this time, and they end up becoming abusers as well.
Yeah, that was a deep scene, KT. That stuck out to me because the dude Lucas asked him. He said, what did I do?" He asked him, "What did I do?" He said, "You did
Nothing.
And he said, "You did nothing for yourself." And he was like, "In my opinion, there's a special place in hell reserved for people who choose to do nothing." I was like, "God damn."
That was a cold, but yo,
Yeah,
Channing Tatum was like too good.
yeah.
Too good. Now, you know what's interesting is you know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, the Diddy thing, and um the fact that, you know, hurt people, and how he kind of rose to the position he was in to even be able to do all of this. And it's real interesting because no one ever talks about his father. You know who his father is, right?
Yeah, Harlem Hustler.
Melvin Combs, right?
Yeah. You
You
see
know
it?
who he was the driver for, right?
Not what was that? Not Bumpy.
Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Frank Lucas was Bumpy's driver.
Mhm.
Melvin was his driver,
Right.
and he died at 33. Interesting number. And Diddy was 2 at the time when he died. So I find that real interesting that his pops was Frank Lucas' driver. Like, it's interesting. You know what I mean? And it's like so many things end up coming to light. So yeah, forget over forgiveness. So if you forget, there's nothing to forgive, right? Slater, can king yelling, "I'm sorry," over and over and over again. Now, two sides to this. You had this Caucasian male on the up he had the higher what's the position of advantage. He was on higher ground is what I'm trying to say. He had the higher ground while she was on the floor. And he's screaming, "I'm sorry" to her, which is like something that's asked for, but it's almost like, when somebody's like asking you for an apology and like you don't want to get an apology and you just like, "Yo, I'm sorry," whatever, like leave me alone. Like that's what he was doing. Like, "Yo, I'll say I'm sorry. I'll say I'm sorry 1,000 times, but I don't mean it. Is this what you need? This all you need is an apology?" He recited that whole thing to her, that whole monologue, and admitted that, he was touched as a child too, and now that he's older, he's up here abusing other people, so we got to be real careful of smiles. We got to be real cautious of people apologizing and acting like they understand who we are as a people, what we've been through and things like that, are promising us stuff, because actions speak way louder than words. And yeah, he might be speaking and screaming as loud as as his lungs will allow him to. But obviously the actions of the film show otherwise. He talking about, "Yo, everybody's dead. So we could just leave and start over." Like, yo, this dude is crazy. So yeah, here you go, Rich.
Oh dear. You starting your shit, man.
So the movie in the beginning of the movie, she say, "Blink twice if I'm in danger," and he didn't skip a beat. He pulled them glasses down and blinked twice at her immediately, and she think he joking. So when they was on the island and she remembered him, he thought she remembered him from the night before, because the night before she was all strapped down and everything and bound, and they both of them was over and was like, "You telling me she ain't gonna remember none of this?" So when they was in that room right after his session and she was in there, like, you remember me?" He was nervous because he thought she meant from last night, but she was talking about the initial meeting, you know what I'm saying, at the gala, and got shook for a second, but he's the real monster, because he's the one that was around and created Slater King's character. Whatever happened to him as a child, he was the therapist. He was the one that got in the mind. So this is when you get into like Sigmund Freud and the century of self, you know what I mean? And the whole industry of psychology, and the fact that there's psychology that is behind all the moves that are made in our society. Everything is not just happenstance. You know what I mean? They really study us. They study the mind. They study how we act. And through social media, through our personal information and how we interact with each other, it creates a certain algorithm that they're able to decipher and decode to get an understanding of how we think and how we operate. So this is the true devil in the movie right here. And his name is Rich. And yeah, I know your name is Rich too, sir. But I believe the name for Rich is to tie it to the parasitic elite, to the ones that are of influence, to the wealthy families, to the ones that have the wealth and the power, where we really have the power that they're trying to get the power from. So he actually created the Slater King character and is constantly keeping him in check, So that takes me to the end of the film, where she ends up slipping the venom into his vapor. So he hits the vape and now he forgets and hits his head, and she drags him out. And, I'm hearing people are upset because they thought, oh, he deserved to die, or he was supposed to pay for what he did. But we know they don't pay for what they do. They go to these nice little resorts or whatever like that, and they get off scot-free. So what's she do? This man is a billionaire with influence, with a whole infrastructure in place. So what she did is she flipped it on him. She made him forget who he was and usurped and took the throne back and took the estate back, took the wealth back, took the money back, because the only way you're going to really be able to do anything about any of this is to be in a powerful position. You can't just hope and wish and pray. You got to do some work. So she got what she needed in order to prop. Now, we don't know what she's going to do with it, but the idea is to, free the people. All them pictures that she saw of all them old white men getting bags. Remember, if they getting red bags to go, that means they're bringing them back to their country, to their state, to their city, and they're using it on the women that they're dealing with. And we don't know to what degree that this is a fictitious tale and this is not a chemical that is being used right now. I mean, we know about roofies and things like that get slipped on people, but like we don't know to what degree, there are drugs that have been synthesized and how they're being used, because everything's hush hush and quiet quiet. So I thought the ending was spectacular. I was like, oh snap, she got him on the leash. She a billionaire now.
Yeah.
She's a woman and her last name is King. I was like, yo, that's power. That's
Nah, that was a power move.
And then Rich walked up and recognized that he was still in a forgetful state and she was in power, and then she got the security to take him away so he could get dealt with. So yeah, man, that's my slideshow. That's my slides right there. This movie was it was just riddled with symbolism, very powerful and relevant to the time that we are in right now. Under the radar, nobody really knows about it, but I think it's a wake-up call to let people know, we got to stop being on this, oh, it's so painful, it's so hurtful, I just don't want to, I need to forget about it. We got to face it, because in facing it, like when you deal with trauma, when you face your traumas, when you deal with them and you overcome them and you grow, that's going to open up pockets in your mind to access more memory, more DNA, more connection to ancestors. You'll be able to do a whole lot more. But if it becomes dissociative amnesia, then you're never going to really be able to access anything because you're shut down, So yeah, man, that's my presentation and I'm sticking to it.
Excellent. Now you did an excellent job, my brother. I remember talking to you before the show, and I said, KT, I'm very curious as to where you're going with this. I said, I watched the movie, but I want to know what angle you're approaching this from. And I absolutely love where you went with this tonight, my brother. So I know you're gonna make a lot of people want to see it. A lot of people did see it in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And the way you tied it into everything, what we've been through as a people, what Black women have been through, even talking about the dude Lucas and not doing nothing for the brothers and people, males out there who are just not
being active or doing anything at all, and just like, oh, it's not my problem.
Yeah, it's very easy to manipulate those type of individuals because they want to belong to something. So yeah, deep movie. I want to ask you, KT, what's your thoughts? We live in a culture, you connecting this a lot to our culture. We live in a culture with therapies is big. It's big. Everybody's mental health. One of the things Frida said in the movie, she basically said therapy was bullshit. She said it's like some self-indulge, or I forgot her exact words, but she was like, that's bullshit. And then what's his name? King, the King dude was like, no, therapy's amazing. It's excellent. It helped me get over this, that, and that. So what's your thoughts on the whole culture of therapy? And are you leaning more toward Frida's philosophy on it? or more toward Channing Tate's philosophy on it?
No, I definitely feel that there's a place for therapy, and I
Mhm.
think that it can be very helpful to a lot of people. I would never say that it doesn't work, but you have to be cautious about who it is that the therapist that you're dealing with. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You gotta do research and really deal with somebody that is out to assist you in being able to show up for yourself, you
Right.
know?
Gotcha.
And that was the issue there, was that Slater was just kind of blindly um entrusted into this person because he'd been dealing with him since his childhood, that by the time he was an adult, I mean, he's a billionaire now. He's all powerful and everything in his mind. He's like, shoot, yeah, I need this guy right here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he created this monster.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's a therapist can definitely go the wrong way and create a monster out of you.
Mhm.
So it could be half and half. They actually both played a role, hence why there was so many um um like opposite colors and everything in the movie, like the red and the blue,
Mhm.
and things like that, the green and the purples and all that, because it was showing that there's two sides to everything,
Yeah.
as much as it looked like they was having such a great time on that island. It was beautiful, and like her wish was coming true. It was like, yo, the worst thing that she could have ever imagined was happening to her at the same time.
Mhm.
you know
Another thing, you showed the adrenochrome, the molecule, and anybody in the what we call the conspiracy theory community, we've heard a lot about adrenochrome and this hormone that gets secreted when you're in fight or flight, and that's the perfect time to extract it. My question in KT is this is so beneficial to these monsters, the elite, and whoever the parasitic elite, or whoever's using this? But isn't adrenochrome, ain't that nothing but cortisol, my brother?
No, it's actually based on adrenaline, and when it's oxidized, it becomes melanin.
But if I'm in fight or flight constantly, that
Mhm.
means I'm constantly secreting cortisol, correct?
Well, no, cortisol is a stress hormone, yes, but
Yeah.
no, cortisol isn't the fight or flight hormone. That's adrenaline. Those are two
Okay.
different things.
Okay. Okay.
Those are two different things. But yeah, the all of these molecules are essentially very similar. They're
Mm,
very similar. And essentially what they're doing is they're consuming because when someone's scared and someone's fearful, they're putting energy into something that really don't exist. They're putting power into something, right? I'm
mhm,
scared, or you see a cockroach or something like that. Oh my God, it's gonna fly at me. You know what I mean? You
mhm.
got all these ideas in your head of what the cockroach is gonna do to you. You know what I mean? And you're putting power in the thing, and essentially, they're consuming that power that you created.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
Um,
And real quick, reminding everybody, I got a sale going on the site. If you
50%.
like the breakdown, if you want to support, go to soioticbotanicals.com right now. Rich is going to definitely put the link in the description when it's done. 50% off right now. Y'all can get y'all honey. Y'all can
Indeed.
get y'all Tekanu. Y'all can get y'all all the herbs that I just got in from Mexico. So jump on that.
All right. So KT, so we notice when we look at individuals like Epstein or Diddy or Trump, the list goes on and on. It could be what's the Playboy dude named Hugh Hefner. When you look at Channing Tatum's movie, Men with Extreme Wealth,
Mhm.
they're always surrounded by a lot of women, and you often a lot of times see them involved in a lot of sexual degeneracy, a lot of we talked about the buy and the billionaires over there shitting on the woman, paying them to come over there just to shit on them. Now that's some sick shit. I want to ask you now, we're in the conscious community, there's a lot of talk on polygamy. Our natural state is polygamy, and they made us this white man made us have one woman, but I'm supposed to have 7 wives. KT, I
Mhm.
want to ask you, do you think that I'm observing, we can even look at Polite, his downfall with all his access, he getting pussy all over the place, just always constantly around women.
Oh,
Do
real quick,
Yeah.
that was the actual name of the movie at first,
What?
but she changed
What?
it.
What was the
Pussy
actual
Island.
name? You serious?
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah, that's what Zoe Kravitz
Damn.
named the film. It was named Pussy Island first, and
Wow.
she had to change it.
Wow. That's that. Wow. Oh shit. Wow. It would have this movie would have went viral if she would have kept that name.
I'm
It would
just
have went,
saying.
it would have hit hard. Wow.
That's what we
That's
should have
deep.
called it tonight, Pussy Island Decoded.
Wow. Now you two would have, you two would have, well, wow. But listen, so KT, so we're saying all of that, and I ended with saying, like the dude polite and the dudes is just getting pussy everywhere. Do you think that one of the reasons why somewhere along the line in our culture it turns from multiple wives to one woman is because one woman protects a man from destroying himself?
That's very insightful. I think it's just a matter of like what someone is looking for individually.
Right.
I would say one of the reasons why monogamy is pushed so much in this country to the point where it's like illegal to polygamy is illegal. Like, why is it illegal? Like, it should be an option, right? Is because they don't want anybody to build. Because in the circumstances where it works, where there are women that are working together, like I said in the presentation, when I was like, instead of competition, it's cooperation and collaboration. Right. And women are very enterprising. Whatever they put in their mind to, they know how to do exceptionally well. They are amplifiers and enhancers. So whatever you have as a foundation, and you have all of these outcrops, and you have women dealing with each one of these outcrops, they can amplify all those things, and you have yourself an empire very fast. In addition to that, if you have multiple women and you impregnate them, let's say you got 5 women and you impregnate the 5 women, right? You got 5 children, right? You impregnate them again. Now you can have 10 or 12 if there's twins. You know what I mean? And in 5-6 years, you can have 30-40 children. You got a whole tribe at that point. And if there's multiple family units like that, then there's just this kind of creation of this nation that is being birthed and created at an exponential rate.
Yeah.
Which is very scary to a people that would have problems keeping their numbers up. Now, on the monogamy side, yes, in certain situations, if a man chooses, they can put all their energy into one woman. That one woman can be that amplifier and that enhancer, for that man, then that's just what it is, But I think it should at least be a choice in the country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to it being like illegal, like you got to go somewhere else in the world in order for it to happen.
Right.
But we know the natural state with men and women is men naturally do want to deal with multiple women, and usually women just want to deal with one stable man that can handle what she needs. That's kind of a natural energy. But because we're in such a traumatic society, because of how we have been raised and what we deal with, a lot of us are just not ready for that men and women, both.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Let me I seen what is sending infinite God? Synchronicity. I told someone this today in a mental healing session. I evacuated from this hurricane, so I have time and Tringa dialogue. I will be watching. Oh yeah, I hope you're safe. I thank you for I forgot you from Florida. I hope you're safe. Sending infinite goddess. I hope everything good. Let me know in the chat how things are going down there. My prayers to everybody. KT talked about Florida a little earlier, so let us know in the chat. I heard the hurricane moved to Category 3 once it hit landfall. So let us know how things are going in Florida. All right. But yeah, I'm glad to hear you doing fine out there in Florida. Anybody else in Florida, let us know how y'all doing out there. Somebody asked KT, do you think this is Lisa Bonet's story?
It might be Zoe Kravitz's story.
Right.
Herself. She said that it was based on she said that she had she was kind of getting tired of society and how things was kind of getting ignored, and the canceling that was going on, the stories she was hearing from friends, people she knew that was going to parties, but this could have been something that happened to her, because you know what I'm saying, she's pretty young herself. Zoe Kravitz is beautiful. She's in those circles. But Lisa Bonet, I know she dealt with something, because there was a lot of controversy that went on the Cosby Show, that was never really talked about like that. I don't know what happened, but I know she had problems on the Cosby Show itself, where she disappeared for a second and came back. Then she got Different World. The Different World was her own show, and she only did like that first season, and then they moved on to Whitley and Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't even on it no more.
Right.
So who knows, what happened.
Yeah.
And she's a Scorpio.
Indeed.
Yeah, Zoe is a Sag though.
Somebody wants to know, Donald wants to know, is the memory
tied to your sense of smell? Of course. Definitely, You're I mean, if you notice, you smell something walking down the street, it'll take you back to when you was 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? Scents definitely connect to memory. And one of the things that help memory is rosemary when you smell it. So there's actually herbs and certain terpenes and oils that exist in certain herbs that when you smell them, they actually open up and assist with your memory,
Right. Indeed. KT, when you do these decodings, these breakdowns, these Hollywood decodings you're famous for, let me use an example. So I remember sometime when I was in New York and Harlem, and me, Red and Blue, we would be on 25th, and whenever we would do a video, we'd be like, all right, let's just look for a nice background. So we would do some of these videos. Back then on YouTube, they was calling everybody Masons. That's when they was big on, he's a Mason. They just call everybody. I've never been a Mason my whole life, but they would just call everybody
arch degree because of my They were like, yeah, he's a Mason. He's a Royal Arch degree Mason. Yeah.
So they would look at the background and they'd be like, see, because of that and that, and they would break down mad sacred geometry in the back and say, yeah, because he's standing like that, he's wearing this color, and I would be like, damn, that's good, but nah, that's not right. Like that,
we didn't do none of that.
Yeah, but that's good. That's interesting.
Nah, brother, it was the spirit, the subconscious spirit carried y'all to do all that.
What do you think about, like, you tie so many things in together with these decodings? Mm-hmm. Like, what would you say if the director was like, nah, I didn't do that, KT. I didn't do that intentionally for it to mean that. Do you think that, like you said, there's some type of even if that person didn't intend to, there is some type of energy working through them to bring certain symbolism through the film?
Oh yeah, I definitely don't depend on directors like agreeing with me with what I come up with, because some of them are just not that deep. Because remember, when you deal with a movie is the product of a whole pretty much a whole city. Like, because when you sit down, the credits take 5 minutes to go by. All those people was responsible. Right. So you got studio heads, you got producers, you got directors, you got cinematographers, you got writers. You know what I mean? You have all these people that are involved in what this final product is going to be. You got editors, right? The director got an idea, but guess what? That editor leave that thing on the editing floor. It's a whole different movie now. You see what I'm saying? So I think that different people play a part in the film, and though the director might not have intended that to be symbolic, there might have been a note from the producer. There might have been a note from a studio head. There might have been a note from an advisor, because they have advisors too. That they talk to, spiritual advisors, metaphysical advisors, historical advisors, and stuff like that, that are into that. And they be wanting to put all that in there. There's like the color thing that there's no way that she did not intentionally use white, use yellow, use the red, all of that I stand by that.
Uh-huh.
She say that was not intentional. I'd be like, you lie. You lying right now. You know what I'm saying? But now I don't think everything that I break down, just the director thinks about. I think it comes from multiple fronts, and I think some of the stuff I pull out of it myself. You know?
Indeed. It was something I seen. Oh, somebody said, "Nah, work on productions, films. It's overplanned."
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "Yeah, okay, all right,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
indeed."
they state. Let me tell you, man. Movies take. It is not no fly by night thing. It take
Mm,
years. They started filming this in 2022.
mm.
Yeah, 2022 is when they started this. And it's just coming out now in August 2023. And it's just a short hour and a half movie. Budget ain't that big, you know, but we got Gladiator 2 coming out where they built a whole Rome and the Colosseum and everything like that. Like,
Yeah.
they ain't gonna tell me when I break that movie down that ain't what they was doing, and they just spent all this time and energy, and they pay attention to every detail. They do not leave anything on the screen that they don't want.
Yeah,
When I
facts.
put that pitch up and there was rabbits on that painting,
Yeah,
there's a reason why there's rabbits on the painting, and she's called Red Rabbit because we know rabbits is mad fertile. You know what I'm saying? We know what the white rabbit is. You know, rabbit got a lot of symbolism.
Indeed. Let me see. Just check. A sentence said, "This hurricane weak as F. It's about done. Waters are bad. Tornadoes very unusual. Devastation not as bad as anticipated. Magic too strong here. And thank you for the real grown polygamy talk." KT. Shout out. Yeah. She's in a polygamous relationship, and
Okay.
they doing their thing. So shout out to them.
There we go. We got an example. We got an example.
Yeah.
Congratulations, that is working for you.
Yeah. And that's good. We need positive polygamous examples because we done seen a
You
couple
need to have that on your show. Have you done that yet?
polygamy or showing polygamy. No, I haven't.
No,
done.
with a
Oh
polygamous.
no, couple. No, that's dope.
What?
That's you gave me an idea.
Come on, man.
Hey, Sonny, you gonna come with the show with your whole fam? That is I didn't even thought about that whole
You
family.
need that, and then you can have, yeah, man. So you can have them all there, and you can ask it in real time to the people, because even though I'm talking about it, right, it's still in theory with me. You know what I'm saying? You need to talk to somebody that's in it successfully, so they could tell you, look, this is what worked, this what don't work, this is a fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ascendant, would you be willing to come on the show with with your family? And like yeah. I'm gonna holler at you. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Sale, soionic.com.
Oh, yeah,
right
definitely.
now. Take advantage, y'all.
I wish I had the honey in front of me, y'all. I got the purple sea moss. I'm getting the vitamin D3.
And then you want some Tekanu too.
The Tekanu, yeah, getting the Tekanu.
Yeah.
That Tekanu, that caught me by surprise. I slept on it. I started taking it, and that thing ain't no joke.
Yeah, it creep up
The
on
thing
you.
about it is, it creep up on you, and I couldn't even focus on my work because I'm thinking about other shit. I'm like, I can't take this no more. I'm trying to concentrate. I'm a man with a purpose, KT. I can't be taking
That's your purpose, though.
with a purpose, KT.
That's your purpose,
focus,
man.
KT. God damn, man.
And I find this interesting. So I come out with the Tekanu.
Yeah.
How about they just discovered a new organism in the human body, and they named it obelisk.
Yeah.
It's a microorganism that lives in our oral cavity, and it's in our oral cavity, and then it's in our gut as well. And it's like ancient, like it's so old. You know what I mean? And they just discovered it, I think, like in January of this year. So the papers are just coming out now, because usually when they have new studies, they don't talk about it at first. But y'all need to look that up. Look up this new organism found inside the human body that's supposed to be old as dirt called obelisk.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely got to look that up. Somebody want to know. I'm gonna put the link in the description after the video for his website. It's So Ionic Botanicals, right, KT?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. But the link will be in the description.
Yeah, it'll be in the description. Plus, y'all could go to KT the Arts Degree on Instagram. I got a link tree, so you could just click the link tree. It'll take you to the site. YouTube, you go to KT the Arts Degree. I got a link tree too. Will take you to the site, so you could just click the link there too.
I think I just put the website in the chat. I don't know if it's a link, but I did put the website in the chat. So Ionic Botanicals. Yeah, get that. Like I said, man, get those 50% off. Y'all definitely won't regret it. Amazing products. Definitely. Oh, somebody want to know. Let me ask this because I see they keep posting it. Can you ask him about the marijuana drink and its benefits?
Yes, it's interesting because I just came across this a little over a week ago. I think they're talking about the Delta drink. They got a drink that got the THC in there. The sweetener is stevia. I didn't really notice any bad additives in there, and they encourage you to drink like 1/4 of the jar at a time, because if you like drink the whole can, like you'll be flat out somewhere. And I had some, and it was real mellow. It was real nice, so I had a good experience with it, but I only had it one time like that. And I haven't jumped in it like that, but from what I've experienced so far, I think it's good. It's definitely going to be better than smoking it. And then you just got to be mindful of where they're pulling it from too, as well. She said we there.
Yo, Senator, do me a favor, hit me on a DM on Instagram. Because I want to call you and just go over a couple of things with y'all for the show just to get prepared for. But we definitely gonna do that. That's gonna be fire. KT, thank you for that idea. That is fire. We need to see a positive example of that. I know a lot of broken ones, so I want to see a positive example of that. So hit me up on Instagram on a DM.
That's gonna be wild. So the person, they weren't talking about the marijuana drink. If they didn't misspell it, it's the Mama Joanna drink, and they say it's a Dominican roots tonic. That's very similar to the Geefy tea, which Rich goes crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, we out of the Geefy tea right now, but we about to stock back up on it though.
Yo, listen. I think they be thinking I'm bullshitting. Because, I get hype. I think they be thinking I just be making this shit up. Because I be like, oh, KT, this is good. All right, listen. KT got, I don't want to say he got the best products and everybody else get mad, but he got one of the best products on my channel. Like, in terms of, like,
everybody can't get mad. I'm the one that's on right now. When they come on, then you can say.
But listen, I know because I'm bigging up the sea moss and I'm saying the honeys that the Geefy tea, y'all, is. I never took the duck flower, so I'm not going to say everything. I never took that, so I can't say that's amazing.
Yeah, man.
I never took that. But the Geefy tea, that's special. KT gave me a bottle, this big one. Oh man, that Geefy tea, man. Listen, man. That is something.
I got you. As soon as I stock up, I'm gonna pour it in another one of them.
You got that on your website now?
Huh?
You got that on your website now? You got that on the website now?
It's sold out right now. Matter of fact, I probably got like 5 or 6. But you get I don't got your bottle.
Bro, I could drink it. I could drink that in the morning when I wake up. I could drink it in the afternoon. I could drink it in the evening. I could drink it at night. Yo, family, listen.
And it gets
amazing.
You right.
Y'all gotta try the Geefy tea, man. This dude, right. I don't know where he gets all this stuff from. He comes up with stingless honey and Geefy tea. I don't know where he gets all this from, but y'all, this dude's amazing products, man. But like I said, I hope y'all don't think I just be bullshit, man. But let's continue. We're gonna get to a couple of more questions. And then we're gonna get out of here. Magnificent show. This brother did a magnificent breakdown. He took it places I didn't think he was gonna take it tonight. And I really respect that. It shows how good he is at this Decoded. Because I'm like, is he gonna go metaphysical? Is he gonna do this? And he went in a bunch of places in one movie. So a lot of respect for this show tonight. Let's keep it moving. Well, somebody got a question for the Geefy Tea. How many dropfuls of the Geefy Tea can we take?
You could knock down that whole bottle if you want to. But what I would say, to stretch it out, just fill up the dropper full. You can either drop the dropper full drop straight, or you can put it in some water and drink it that way. And that'll get you right. But normally, you take just a little swig and keep it moving.
Indeed. Somebody said in Dominican Republic, Mamajuana is an aphrodisiac with roots in it.
Yeah. The Geefy tea is definitely that too.
Indeed.
That make you feel great.
KT, they want to know any word on when you start herb classes.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. It's gonna be sooner than later.
Mm. Okay. Let me see.
And just so people know, that I did an herb class on my YouTube channel. I did Kanya Fistula.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple little technical difficulties in the first the 10 minutes of it, but I talked about Kanya Fistula. I actually made the tea. I made a poultice. I made an infusion, and I made an aphrodisiac drink out of it too. Ooh. So I did all that. I did it in real time on a camera. It's on my channel right now. That's one of the herbs that I have on the site, so y'all can check that out.
Indeed. Yeah, we got to do cooking video too before the month's out. We definitely got to hook back up and make something happen. For the,
I think I said I'm gonna do the plantain nachos.
Yeah,
next.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So we gonna make that happen. We gonna keep y'all informed. I think this was an interesting comment, KT. Black women sacrifice our culture to fit into the rich and famous lifestyle. I notice how weaves, dyes, and straight hair are all the rave when you want to fit in the white man's marketplace.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And speaking of hair, that's another thing that happened in the movie that was very subtle. When she was on an island, and she woke up the first time, they snatched her back by her hair. Remember that? So that's why she had short hair in the rest of the movie, because subconsciously she was like, I don't want to give him an opportunity to be able to snatch me up again.
That's deep. That's a good way to conclude this show. Wow. Because she did have long hair the first time she was on the island. Damn, bro. Yo, let me ask you, do you think did you go to Catholic school when you was younger?
No, I went to private school though. I wasn't Catholic school. I went to the modern school. It was James Weldon Johnson School up on 151st or something, right next to Broadway. I went there.
People know about the Catholic school with the altar boy situation, and how the altar boys they a lot of them got touched up by them priests because they're in close proximity, and and with these Catholic priests or whatever. And I didn't notice, but I found out 2 weeks ago that Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, was an altar boy in high school. You think maybe because we watched.
Yeah, that's why I said hurt people. I would not be surprised that it wasn't that. If it wasn't done to him, yeah, definitely was done to him too. That's usually how it happens. Most of the people that are doing these things, it was done to them, and that seed is kind of put in them, and then they end up doing it as well. I'm not saying in all cases, but in lots of cases, they carry it on. Like look at Slater King. Yeah. It happened to him when he was a kid, and then he was like, subconsciously, I'm going to become so all powerful that I can create a space where I could do what I want to do and have my way with people and nobody can't stop me.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Go check this movie out if y'all didn't. Y'all got this ain't gonna be no breakdown like this, y'all. So this gonna be the best one on the internet. Ain't nobody, even what KT just said about the hair thing, ain't nobody going in like this. So yeah, like this some next level ish here.
Yeah, man.
Once,
That hair.
once again, before we get out of here, KT, let the people know anything you want them to know about retreats, websites, products, anything you got coming up, my brother.
Yep. So I know at the end of the month, I'm gonna be at the psychedelic conference in Detroit. So I'm gonna be up there with the psychedelic community, with Kalindi's people, Mudu, big shout out to Mama Ayana, Mudu, and the whole squad up there. And I'm going to be with what else I got coming up? Yeah, like you said, we're gonna be doing the cooking thing. Right. I got some more content coming up on my channel. I know people are like starving for some more YouTube videos on mine. I've just been kind of behind the scenes doing a few things, so I'm definitely gonna have that going. But the sale's going on right now, so I suggest that you check me out on Somatic Botanicals. Take advantage of this because we moving into November. We moving into Thanksgiving and the flu seasons and people eating and gluttony and all this type of stuff. So you definitely want to go ahead and get that detox going, get that body strong. This is what's about to happen to Florida with Milton. We don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the country as we go closer to this election. Yeah, so I suggest y'all prepare, stock up. But yeah, that's what I got for you right now.
Yo, and next year is the year of the snake in Chinese astrology. Okay, it's the year of the snake, so it's very interesting. Leading up until next year, a movie like this would drop.
Prominent with the snake. That's right.
Yeah,
very good insight, Rich. Exactly. Yeah. That's it.
Yo, completely unrelated to the show, but I just thought I want to share this. Very interesting. We just be having a good time on the show. I noticed I do this. You know how they say you do automatic writing? I got my notebook and I'll be jotting notes down during the show, stuff you be saying and stuff like that. And I noticed like if when you just start doodling and writing things, but you're not really paying attention, but stuff you just writing. I always write mom. So I just want to take this time to give a shout out to my mom. She's in another realm. We know these are just avatars.
Yes.
And we know, we're remote controlling this shit right now. But I want to give a shout out to my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to mom. Shout out. I mean, this whole breakdown and Decoded is to the black women, so it's definitely to the mothers. Yeah,
so shout out to mom. I was like, damn, I quote myself again. Every time I do it, I'll be like, damn, I did it again. But I just be like writing and doodling mom. So shout out to my moms. Mama Merritt. Shout out to Mama Merritt. You know what I'm saying? But listen, great. Yo, family, tomorrow, what's the name? RFG, the chosen one's gonna be on here. He's gonna be dealing with natal charts and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a good show tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Then we're gonna end the week with Sharif Bey.
Oh, okay.
On Friday, Sharif is going to be here. We're going to be talking about the history of hoodoo, KT. This is hoodoo history, the Hoodoo History Month.
Oh, shoot. So I was talking about with the chickens and everything that. Yeah. I'm definitely interested in hearing more about that for sure.
Yeah, so that brother's going to be on Friday. But with that be, another thing before we get out here, yo, I'm thinking about doing a documentary next year on the Black Sun, and I know you just did a presentation on the Black Sun.
Of course.
So I gotta talk to you. I definitely need you in the documentary. That's number one. Yeah. And number two, is there any way I can see your presentation? Like, do you have it anywhere?
Yeah. For sure.
Is it on Patreon? Is it
I'll just send it to you.
Please send that tonight.
Yeah.
Please send that.
Send that tonight.
I would absolutely love to go to sleep watching the Black Sun because I'm really trying to get all my notes together and I'm collecting different perspectives so I could tie everything together and connect the dots.
So you getting into flat Earth, Black Sun?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure yet. I'm not
Okay.
sure yet.
You know about the reflection of the moon, right?
In terms of what? What do you mean?
The moon is a reflection of the hidden lands of the entire like Earth. Like when we so you know how the moon we always see the same face of the moon.
Yeah.
So apparently, you know when you do an X-ray is black and white.
Yeah.
So the moon apparently is supposedly a reflection of the surface of the flat Earth. And you can put the actual map, Africa, North America, you can put that on a certain area of the moon and it lines up perfectly with those dark spots. Like all the white area is the ocean and the dark spots is the land. And all the other big craters are all the additional lands past the ice wall that exists that we don't get access to.
Yeah. No, I heard.
I'll send you the image, bro. Because they got a clock in Prague. They got a few places on the Earth that reinforce that idea on like structures. And when you look at the moon and you see how it lines up, stupid.
Yeah, they said, I talked to B-Dale about a month ago about the Black Sun. I told him about the probably about 3 weeks ago. I asked him about it. So yeah, I heard he did a video. I'm gonna check his out as well. So I'm gonna check out B-Dale. I want B-Dale on a documentary too. So, but it's gonna be dope. I don't know if it's gonna be like a docu-series or a documentary, but I gotta like really figure this thing out because the information is so suppressed about the Black Sun. So I'm like, there's not, if you type it up, you're not gonna find a bunch of videos on it. You might find 5 the most if you type it up on YouTube right now.
Right.
So yeah, so it's not something that's out there, bro. But I was looking at it, KT, in terms of I was like analyzing what Hitler was told with the Montauk. What's the name of that book? There's a book called The Black Sun in
and they got the Black Sun symbol.
Yeah.
Which is nothing more than the it's the swastika, which you know is the sun symbol, but instead of it just being 4 of them, it's it going like I think it's like 12, right? So you know how you got the zodiac is split into 4 quadrants, and each one of those quadrants have 3, and you add it up, that's the 12. So they got those 12 divisions, but they're just shaped like that angle of the swastika going around in a circle. And it's supposed to be the energy of the Black Sun coming out from the like the North Pole area, going out. Like that's what the Northern Lights is supposed to be. The Northern Lights was supposedly the Black Sun energy coming out from that center because no planes is able to fly over the North Pole. You know, Antarctica is green right now, bro. They got the satellite images. Google it right now. Antarctica is green, like an eighth of the whole thing is green.
Damn.
They got grass and bushes in Antarctica.
Damn.
Right now.
Yeah, I had text Blue Pill like 2 weeks ago, image of the so-called swastika, and I was like, yo, Blue, this image is going to play a very important role in the next coming years. Like there's something very powerful in the sacred geometry of that, and I really want to explore it. And there's a reason why it's connected to this individual called Hitler, and because it's connected, and people won't explore it. But I'm going to explore it. And that's not his shit. He took it from ancient cultures, just like they take everything.
And he got it. It wasn't even him. He got it from the metaphysical science. I forget the guy's name that was with him. There's another Nazi that was with Hitler. I forget his name. Somebody might know his name.
Yeah, well, what's the name? Sharif talks about it. What's the name, y'all?
But he's the one that was, with all the occult and everything like that.
Damn, I was just talking to Sharif about this dude too. I know exactly who you told. What's the name? Do y'all know the dude's name? Yeah, y'all don't know the name, I guess. But this is the book I was talking about, the Montauk Nazi Tibetan Connection. Yeah, that's the book. Oh yeah, that's the book.
Somebody put the hidden history of Flat Earth documentary. You need to watch. He's saying hidden history is actually called a lost. There's a documentary called The Lost History of the Flat Earth, and it says part 1 through 7. It's like 5 or 6 hours long. The guy's name is like Anwar or something like that, but you type it in, it's on YouTube, and it ends very weird, like it's not done, but it'll take you on a journey for sure.
Yo, is the guy named Mengele? Somebody wrote Mengele. The dude connected with Hitler, the esoteric dude. That might that might be it, yo.
I need to hear the whole name. Maybe
it's not Crawley. No, it's not Crawley. It's not Crawley. It might be Mengele. I'm not sure, y'all. But Joseph Mengele. I think it is. Yeah, I think that's the name. I think it is Joseph Mengele. I think that's him. I think that's the dude we're talking about. But yeah, very well. We got into a very interesting conversation. After an interesting conversation, KT, what's your thoughts on the flat Earth thing? You into the whole flat Earth theory?
Listen, man. Too much evidence to deny it these days, bro.
Okay.
It's too much evidence to deny. And it's like when you say flat Earth, people like they just think of like a pizza pie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, we do floating through space looking like a quarter. Like, no, it's that Earth is a realm. It's not a ball, it's a realm that we're in. And there are higher realms that are more etherical, and then there are lower realms that are more dense and gross. You know what I'm saying? And we're in kind of this sweet spot of creation and form. And to say that land is limited to these continents and this water we see, I don't believe that, because there's ancient maps that have other lands on there. There's too many structures that exist all over the world with certain animals and things like that on it that don't exist. And we'll be like, oh, that's an artistic representation. It's like, how you know? How you know? You know what I mean? I think a lot of, just like how we look at buildings now, like very dumbed down from what we see back in the day. Coming up in New York, right? Yeah. What them buildings look like, bro? Walking around in Manhattan and Brooklyn, and
it was amazing to look at.
Come on, right? The artists, you go in some of them, like Grand Central Station, like let's look at some of the stuff that's there, right? And you mean to tell me that we're building like that right now? No, we're not. You know what I'm saying? That was an ancient way of building, you know? So the same way that we've dumbed down our building, we've dumbed down life forms too. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Very interesting, y'all. Very, very interesting. We done passed the 2-hour mark, man. KT, listen, man, I appreciate this conversation so much, my brother. Absolutely amazing, man.
For sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all of y'all joining and being part of this. I hope y'all enjoyed the info.
Indeed. Hey, keep up the good work, my brother family. I will see everybody tomorrow, right? 9 p.m. with RFG, the chosen one. I will talk to you. Please send that document, that the presentation tonight, KT. Please email it to me tonight.
Yeah. I gotta dig it up and I'll send it over. I'll probably transfer it over to you.
Okay. Excellent. Other than that, family, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Peace, family.
Peace.
This is a gathering. 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 This is a gathering of the masses. This is a gathering. This is a gathering. This is a gathering. This is a gathering. This is a gathering.